Jungkook's collaboration with Justin Timberlake has sparked some controversies. Timberlake himself has been embroiled in some questionable issues, like that of his stand on Gaza and Britney Spears' abortion when he got her pregnant. This is not the first time that a K pop artist collaborated with someone controversial, to say the least, but with the success of Jungkook's Golden, criticisms are louder. The question is, do we know when the outcry is valid? Sure, some are just hating and would latch on to any issue they can use as a weapon, but how do we know if their criticisms are valid? Does it matter who artists work with? After all, artists just like Jungkook have so much influence, and anyone they associate with will certainly gain attention. Or are we asking too much from them? They are singers, artists, not state leaders. Shouldn't we be looking purely at the artistic merit of the people they collaborate with? Or maybe it really depends on who they collaborate with. It's a case by case basis. Maybe there's a limit, some sort of a line that we draw on what kind of offenses are acceptable and what kinds are not.
Before I proceed, just want to make it clear that this is how I process my thoughts, my emotions, and this is how I make a decision whenever my favorite artist gets involved in a controversy. I avoid getting swayed by the public without really knowing and understanding the issue, and I try my very best to make my own decisions based on my own values and principles and based on my own knowledge instead of allowing the public to sway me. So I am in no way claiming this is the right way to do and this is how we should all do it. My hope is that this is going to ignite something, an interest, or someone's going to think of something or contribute something, and maybe we can all be better when it comes to making a judgment or making a decision, especially when it comes to art, our favorite artists. Okay. If you end up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification button so that you know when we're publishing a new video. And of course, share the video if you can, because that's really helping my channel. Okay, let's get on with the video. So should we expect artists to talk about social issues or support social causes? Well, with great power comes great responsibilities. Celebrities have the same freedom as we do if we are free to express our views publicly and still be able to make a living. Celebrities have the same right. But I believe that when you get to a certain level of success and fame, you automatically have some sort of social responsibility, no exception. You cannot just think about yourself when you say something or do something. You need to think about how that's going to influence other people, how that could sway their decisions, and those decisions could affect their relationships, their living, their identities, their happiness. You can't just say it because you feel like saying it, just like other people, because you're not just like other people anymore. This is either, depending on how you look at it, can be the price that you pay or the privilege that you enjoy because of the success that you have achieved. So speaking their views and helping causes, those are not just a right, it's actually a responsibility. There are a few other professions that have that same kind of expectation. Teachers, lawyers, doctors, public officials, because of the power that they have to affect other people, then we're expecting more from them as well. So this much is clear for me from my perspective. Yes, celebrities and artists should use their influence to help and support social causes. However, there is a huge difference between politics and social issues, and that's where we get into trouble. We often can't differentiate between the two. And it's not surprising. Social issues and social causes are often used by politicians to make themselves look better and attract votes. They really intertwine their own interests with the interests of society. If, for example, famine hits North Korea and I decide to send formula and diapers to infants in North Korea, it doesn't mean I'm supporting Kim Jong-un. I just want the kids to be taken care of. They have nothing to do with what's happening in their country. They just happen to have been born in that country. But a lot of people are going to take that as support for the government of North Korea. It's really hard to discern and it's really hard to segment. It's hard to understand because politics and politicians have successfully, as I've said, intertwined their interests with the welfare of people. What's making it really worse are social media influencers, those people behind keyboards who chase followers and subscribers rather than the truth. They campaign for things they don't fully understand because they don't need to. All they need to do is sound upset, sound invested, sound emotional, and followers will be behind them. Just like the politicians, these social media influencers that are just riling people up, that are just commenting or giving their own take on issues they don't fully understand. Just like politicians, what they really want is power. They want influence. They want to be able to say that they are famous and that they have the ability to make people do what they want to do. They are not promoting understanding. They are not giving people research materials. They're not pointing people to the right direction and how to fully understand an issue. The thing is that when it comes to politics, no one is absolutely right. And when it comes to social issues, no one is absolutely wrong. The thing that we need the most is the hardest to get. That is understanding, making the distinction between politics and social issues. We can't count on traditional media or social media to make that distinction for us. We can't count on them to provide us with balanced and relevant information because that will make us smarter. And if we become a smarter society, there will be no need for them. They thrive on chaos. They thrive on controversies because they are primarily a business. And when everything is chaotic, that's when we need them the most. And they want clicks and viewership because those are the metrics that advertisers will actually be looking into. If there is anyone that will be able to successfully make a distinction between politics and social issues, it would be us. Only we can segment what's human and what's politics. And that's why it is very critical for us to remember that there is no evil social cause. It is never wrong to want to help people. It's actually the consequence, maybe, or the circumstances, or how we extend that help that could be complicated. It is never wrong to want to help battered women. That's a social cause. Politics is when you get the budget away from children and give it to battered women, just so people will think that you're doing something about it. Now that is politics. But the desire to help women, that's not evil. That will never be evil. And I guess that's why the politics of today is so dirty. It isn't the system itself. There's nothing wrong with the system of politics. It's the people and their hunger for power and influence and selfishness that's actually making things dirty. That is why I believe there should be a separation between art and politics. It is this intricate but unnecessary connection between politics and social issues that has convinced me there should be a separation between art and politics. Personally, I believe that social issues and social causes deal with the basics of welfare of humans and other living things, while politics is the process by which we achieve those. I think fundamentally, we generally will agree on the basics, that we should all have access to basic needs: water, food, shelter, education, safety, and the decency of life. I think unless you're totally deranged, you will agree that that is what we want. But we just all differ in how we think we can achieve that. Unfortunately, none of the ways that we can think of will not entail sacrifices and will not have painful consequences. That is primarily why, unless an artist violates or promotes anything that goes against the fundamental welfare of humans and other living things, then the quality of their art is the only thing that I will look at. I don't care about an artist's political beliefs. I care about their social stance and what they do to help social causes. As I've said, it's not easy to make that distinction, but I try my best. Here in the US, there are two leading political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. I don't care if an artist is affiliated with either or to neither. I care about what are they doing to help others. What is their stance on children's rights? Do they believe that children should have access to education, healthcare, clothing, shelter, and what are they doing about it? Because they can say that they believe that children should be safe and should be taken care of, but if they're not doing anything about it, or they're doing something that goes against it, then that's also not good. So that's what I care about. I just care about their stance on social issues and what they are doing to help social causes. Morality. And there's the scary word. It is scary primarily because it's so relative. You would think that at the most basic human level, we would agree on something, but we don't. We don't. Respect for human life, for example, isn't as cut and dry as I thought it should be. It is at times very painful to have to tolerate someone who violates some of my very basic values. But as I research, as I learn, as I study, as I ask questions and get answers, the more I realize that many of these people are just as sure that they are right as I am that they are wrong. And this leads me to actually formulate my own sort of standard, what works for me, what I essentially can live with. I just ask myself, how much can I tolerate of somebody? What is it that a person can do that can make me really not even give them the time of my day? But in that test that I do, I also have to check myself, because I can't be a hypocrite. I shouldn't be a hypocrite. I make mistakes too. I've made mistakes. I've held beliefs that I eventually realized were wrong. I have wronged people, and I have sought forgiveness from people. I'm still seeking forgiveness from some people for the things that I have done. And I don't necessarily believe I deserve forgiveness, but I certainly hope for it. And that really humbles me. It makes me more tolerant, realizing and really understanding that I am just as flawed, if not more flawed, than the people that created the art that I am consuming. That many of the art that are being created are created or were created because in spite of the imperfection and not because of perfection. So whenever there is a loud voice or loud criticism on social media against my favorite artists or something, my first question will always be, how much do you really understand for you to talk about this? Because the only thing worse than not having a stand is having a stand for the wrong reasons. I take almost anything as a learning opportunity. If something like this happens, I research both sides actively. I never trust social media trends alone. I don't trust the crowd right away. I seek out both sides. I went back thousands of years trying to understand the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. And I did the same thing for Gaza and Israel and Palestine. And I realized that most of these people who are so loud on social media, their understanding about these issues are so superficial and so juvenile. And so why will I even listen to them? So should celebrities talk about politics, or should they avoid talking about politics, and should they avoid working with other artists who talk about politics? I honestly think BTS is the one that's closest to getting it right. They are very, very involved in their social work, but they stay away from politics. They serve their country. They are there when they are called, but they do not endorse politicians. This is not to say they haven't missed, but for the most part, they have been able to affect changes on things that matter the most. They have scholars, they donate to schools, hospitals, animal shelters, the arts, and other things. And they are really making a huge difference, and they are influencing their fandom to do the same. If I were to be a manager, that would be my advice. Just take it out to social causes and leave, and just not talk about politics. But if the artist chooses to do so, I am fine with that if that is his conviction. I would rather work with somebody with conviction than with someone who does not have conviction. And also, for some artists, they just don't care. Like me, I don't care about someone's political beliefs. I really just care about the fundamentals. If we agree on the most basic human level, then we're good. We can just battle it out in the house. But for as long as we agree on basic fundamentals, then we're good. Now about this Justin Timberlake collaboration. Artistically, I was never really a big fan of Justin Timberlake. While I prefer this version, Justin Timberlake's remix over Harlow's remix, Harlow's version, I still believe that if Jungkook sang this song alone, it would have been better. I understand that he isn't proficient enough yet in English to be able to write the rhymes. Maybe they could have asked RM. I think RM really knows him well, and I think it would have worked out better. So I don't know if this video helped at all. I really just want us to encourage each other to be the voice of reason whenever something like this happens. There's so much noise. People bullying other people, forcing other people to say something, or just talking about things that they don't understand fully. It's just noise, and there's so few people that are promoting understanding and helping other people to understand. So I hope we could be the voice of reason, be the first one to say, okay, hey, wait, stop. Let's learn and understand what's the issue first before we make any judgment. It's just too much noise. No one's really helping other people to understand. Okay. I would love to hear your thoughts, so please leave them in the comment section below. Also, you can get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now. Please follow me on Twitter, because I'm going to convert that into a Asian entertainment and culture Twitter account, and I will keep everything that's personal in IG. You can say anything that you want to say in the comment section. Please be respectful. Also, hit subscribe and hit that notification button so that you know when there's a new video coming up, and like this video if you actually liked it and share the video if you can. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.